This episode of Off Menu will be a little bit different than the others this season. While we at the LA Times food section obviously love chefs and restaurants and the delicious food that they make, there's an entire swath of the population for whom the world of food media and the restaurant industry is, frankly, pretty unimportant. And nowhere is that more apparent than when talking about homelessness in Los Angeles. This isn't to get on a high horse and pass judgment on people who like to eat out at nice places. I'm one of those people. It's simply to call attention to some facts. There is a homelessness crisis in this city. It's real, it's a huge problem, and people need to be reminded of it. And that, I think, is what this episode is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a reminder. A lot of people, myself included, can sometimes sweep homelessness under the rug and not want to have to think about it or deal with it and just go about your day. But we need sometimes to be forced to think about it. Homelessness is up 12% in LA County to nearly 60,000 people and up 16% in the city of Los Angeles, where there are now over 36,000 homeless residents, according to an LA Times article. Orange County calculated a 43% increase. Ventura and San Bernardino counties recorded over 20% increases. There was a 17% spike in what's called the chronically homeless, people with mental or physical handicaps who have been homeless for more than a year. Nowhere is the homelessness crisis in LA more apparent than on Skid Row. Skid Row is a 54-square block area of downtown that houses about 4,000 homeless residents. Skid Row can definitely be a rough place, but it's also a neighborhood, just like anywhere else. There are different parts of Skid Row, different community dynamics depending on where you are. There's leadership within the community. There are politics. It's not a monolith. Not everyone is on drugs. Not everyone is mentally ill. Some people choose to live there. Some have fallen on hard times and have ended up there. Again, the point is that not everyone there is the same, and not everyone is there for the same reasons. In the context of food, Skid Row is what's known as a food desert. Few people on Skid Row are actually starving. Calories in and of themselves are not necessarily hard to come by, but fresh food, grocery stores, and healthy options are. Food that's not just carbs, sugar, and empty calories. And more than anything else, there isn't a lot of choice. And again, the homeless, like you or I, are people, and they deserve to be able to make those choices just like anyone else. Danny Park and Andrew Kang started Skid Row Coffee, which is located in the main branch of the library downtown. Skid Row Coffee aims to provide healthy food options and vocational training for those who live or have lived on Skid Row. They try to foster an environment of collaboration, incorporating favorite recipes of employees, and to provide dignity and a sense of pride where that is sometimes difficult to come by.
20 years ago, there was not a lot of non-for-profits coming down on Skid Row trying to address some of the things that were going on down there. But in the past 5 years, it's gotten kind of out of hand with the homeless situation, the mental health, no affordable housing.
The cafe was originally based off of this vision, a community space disguised as a coffee shop.
One of the big organizing pieces here at Skid Row Coffee is about the people. Because we employ folks who either live in Skid Row or are part of the Skid Row community, we try to build up skills of the folks here so they have more opportunities for employment in the future. We're also a culinary training program, and so we try to make vegetable-based, healthy, nourishing food and provide opportunities to kind of uplift people's creativity.
Got your smash.
We all have our own little style right now.
Okay, I'm doing both. They implementing things in the community like come in, we're doing more than just giving you a job, but we also want you to interact with all of who we interact, like me. they'll say, well, Angela, we have somebody, you know, can you talk to them? Can you help them? Can you find out what's going on? And I had no problem with that.
So much of the food in Skid Row is either like handouts, it's given to you, or you go to a shelter, you kind of take what you can get. And people need it, right? So they accept. And so this experience here is like, everyone stands in line, you're a customer like everybody else is, and you get to have an option about the things you're eating that day. And I think that's like a small example of the way that we uphold dignity here with our customers and within our staff too.
We are trying to make a change, and we know that it's gonna take a lot. And basically, if people see what we're doing, maybe somebody else will jump on board and do it too. Because it's rough. It's some hard things going on out there.
This onigiri tuna, it's the tuna that we make for everyone in the cafe. So it's a good mixture of protein and plenty of vegetables, because there's tuna, celery, a little bit of mayo, a little bit of mustard.
Can I come in and can we eat one now?
Oh yeah!
Okay.
Because I kind of want to try it.
I know. It's really absorbed. Okay. Oh, top there.
It kind of feels, it feels like childhood wrapped in an
Yeah, totally.
The Skid Row People's Market, a convenience store on 5th and San Pedro, was owned by Danny's family before Danny ultimately assumed responsibility for it. As with Skid Row Coffee, he aims to provide affordable, healthy food options in an area where those things can be hard to find.
Well, I believe that food has the power to build community, and I think it's nothing new. We humans have done it forever, simply gathering around a fire. Our ancestors gathering around a fire and cooking food is one example of that. We hire locally residents here, people from the community, so the profits that comes from these businesses or social enterprises, they go back into the hands of the people that live here. So it's reinvested back into the community and the neighborhood.
You don't want to go to
It's a blessing to actually work here. You know, Danny's blessed me. His mother has really showed me love here. And that love that you get here, you give back to the community. Once you give back to the community, they always come back and give it back to you. It's like respect.
Check it out. You want to look inside? Check out these stuff. I'm a restaurant here in Skid Row. Everybody knows. Skid Row needs somebody just inside working too, right? You can't just get help from outside. It's got to come from inside. They got to see a walking example. That's all this is. Walking example. Hey, you know what I'm talking about? You can't train them if they don't know what to get up and look like. You know what I mean? Somewhere along life, you're irresponsible. So I'm not, you know, this is just a part of life that's just business aspect. Waking up, working, and getting in the house and staying out of trouble. That's normal. This is called being normal. That's it. You got to show people normality in an abnormal place. Everybody ain't built for this. You can't come through here with a college degree talking about, hey man, they're gonna be ready. Hey man, get the you know. See, but me, I'm gonna be like, hey man, sit your ass down. I'm getting the ass. You wake up, you smell food. What are you gonna do? You want to buy it? Of course they want to buy these drugs. But I get a lot of them say, man, I'm gonna buy some food today. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going to get high. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot. Yeah.
What have you got set up with these tables?
I do free alterations, I do free phone charging, I charge phones, I provide chairs for you to sit down, to get out the sun, sit in the shade, I pass out water. Then I do free sewing classes. That's what this is here. So I teach people, I rehabilitate the homeless. I provide a place for you to come and sit and cook. She's gonna come and cook her something to eat.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we got hot plates and coffee and...
What'd she cook?
She did pancakes last time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Looks like some sandwiches.
That's Daphne. She got bread. What you cooking today, Daphne?
Burritos and corn dogs, eggs, sandwiches.
Oh. I might need to get something.
Yeah, we love being across the street from Danny's Skid Row Market.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Community Action Network, or LACAN, is located on East 6th Street, and it aims to empower and create opportunities for those who struggle or have struggled with poverty. The executive director, Pete White, brought me to the building's rooftop garden to tell me a little bit more about the organization and the weekly market that they host that features a produce market, an open mic, free haircuts, and generally ends up feeling like a big block party.
We're on the rooftop of the LACAN Justice and Wellness Center because we believe without being well and wellness, you really can't have justice. And when we think about wellness, we're not just thinking about going to the doctor, but we're looking at the overarching dimensions of wellness, right? The fact that neighborhoods in which we're organizing, from Skid Row to South Central Los Angeles, the fact that they don't have access to food, the fact that they don't have full service supermarkets is a problem. And so we said, what better way of providing food than doing it ourselves?
There's a difference between simply going out and handing someone a sandwich or a bag of chips or something, and that and including them in the process, right? Having it be collaborative, having there be, like you said, an exchange of ideas.
So about 7 years ago, we released a report called Taken for Granted, right? And the exercise was to go to all of the places where you get food and sort of do your assessment of what you found on the shelves, right? And of course, what folks found on the shelves were high in sodium, high in salt, packaged foods, cup of noodles, liquor, and other things that weren't just healthy. So we asked people, all right, so what would you like to have in your diet? These are the things that are here. These are the things that exist. What do you want? And folks from Skid Row, from South Central Los Angeles, from East LA, from Little Tokyo said, we want fresh stuff. We want bananas. We want lettuces, right? We want kale, right? We want to try new things. And I say, brother, would you help me? I think a lot of division happens in our cities because people don't know how to be involved. Yeah. Because no one's actually saying, yo, this is a way you can be involved. And we found very few people who don't want to be involved in this.
I deserve the love your weak heart can't hold for me. I deserve the fairy tale ending my mama always told to me. I deserve to be told every day that you adore me. But I couldn't get that from you because you only wanted one thing from me, so you couldn't love me properly. But I will no longer be subject to these hand-me-down feelings you have for me. I will no longer be that dirty secret you sneak in between your bed sheets to hide your insecurities. I will no longer be the girl you can't let your friends see because you don't like what your friends think of me. Who cares what your friends think of me? Call me when you get a heart strong enough to hold all 250 pounds of me. Your love for me should not have a weight limit. I shouldn't have to be thin to fit in it. I shouldn't have to be a certain size to ride this ride. You can say you love me over and over. You can say it till hell gets colder than the Arctic. Just know one thing, I'm not buying that shit. My love for you is gone, and from now on, I only accept love in the form of actions because your words are invalid. I'm sick of being bent over backwards, so from now on, I only accept love in the form of actions because your words don't matter. I am tired of being bent over backwards. I done been bent so far back, I can see my past, and I realize you are just like my last, and he, like the one before him. This cycle has got to end, so starting today, I'ma snap my back into place, wrap a metal rod up in my self-esteem and put it where my spine should be, because I'm the only one strong enough to keep me standing, don't you see? I'm the only one with love strong enough for me.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode of Off Menu. Homelessness is a huge crisis in Los Angeles and in this country. If you are local to LA and you're interested in finding out more or helping, the organizations that we highlighted in this episode are LACAN and Skid Row Coffee and Skid Row People's Market. If you live elsewhere, there's a good directory at the National Coalition for the Homeless website, or you can check online for homelessness advocacy groups near you. Please check links in the description to find out more, and thanks for watching.